All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Shelf Space. And this is a special episode. This is one of my favorite episodes every year. This is the Statue Awards Winner Reveal Show. So, before we get any further, I'm going to introduce my fellow hosts of Shelf Space. We have from Toronto, the Six, Gina B. We have from Montreal, Quebec, Charles. We are live across Canada and to wherever else in the world you're watching from. I'm Kris. I'm live from Edmonton, Alberta, way out west in the cold. So let's get moving here. We got a loaded show today. We got 10 awards to get to. You can see them laid out across the bottom there. And quickly, I have a few things to get to before we jump right into it. I want to thank my good buddy Marco from Marco Graphic Design, who designed the Statue Awards logo for this year. He does it every year. If you want to check out his website, marcographicdesign.com, really great illustrator. He's great at logo design, all sorts
nice work,
of artists. So this year, obviously, the theme was the awards about statues. We were going with a bit of a Seinfeld theme. You might be able to see that with the logo.
Yeah.
So we always try to make it a little bit fun every year. So we change it up every year. This year was Seinfeld. So this is the 8th annual Statue Awards. This is the longest running event of its kind. And, I was thinking about how this industry has changed since we started this awards 8 years ago. Just to give people a quick recap here. Year one was 2014. At that time, Sideshow Collectibles was the king. Nobody could touch Sideshow. They were absolutely the heap of at the very top of the industry. And it was to the point where when we said we were going to do these awards, it's like, well, why bother? Sideshow is going to win everything. Don't worry about it. But that year happened to be the year where a couple little startup companies were just getting into things here. Both from the other side of the world, one from a little country called Singapore, one from Japan. And of course, I'm talking about XM Studios and Prime One Studio. And they cleaned up that year. They won everything, and people were, had their arms up in the air like this is rigged. Oh my God! But fast forward a few years now, they're at the top. Those two companies are at the top of the pile here for this hobby. And then we go to year two. We have another company pop out of nowhere from Brazil, Iron Studios. Right? They won a Best Medium Statue that year in 2015, and a couple years later, won Statue of the Year for their Darth Vader.
Right.
Year three, we had a little company out of Luxembourg. You may have heard of them called Sume. And that created a lot of havoc, right? Because in those days,
they were everywhere.
There was not a lot of anime-focused licensed statues. Sume was one of the first and is still one of the biggest around. And in those days, we had all of the statues lumped together. In the early days, we only had 4 awards. We had small, medium, large, extra large, and Sume won everything that year. And again, people were up in arms. I can't believe anime won. I can't believe it beat out Batman and Superman and all that good stuff. So we were in a bit of an anime takeover for a couple years. But again, fast forward a couple years, it was a bit of an untapped market. We've got dedicated anime categories. We have a whole bunch of new anime licensed statue producers every year. One called Figurama you might have heard of. They've won a lot of awards the last couple years. The next year after that, we added the bus category. The next year after that, we added the gaming category. And we had a little company called HMO, Handmade Object, who won Statue of the Year that year with their Morrigan. So gaming is a big category these days. You got a whole bunch of companies in that area. Then the year after that, we added the dedicated anime categories and the industry award, which is unique to the Statue Award arena. There's several different events every year put on by different channels, but only one with the industry award, and that is voted on by sculptors and different professionals in the industry, artists, the business people behind the different companies and things like that. So that's exciting. So lots of changes in 8 years. It's kind of a short time, but this hobby is completely changed during that time.
The quality of everything.
Yeah, the introduction of even digital sculpting was still kind of new. Back when we started this out, it was just getting into it. The companies were just sort of embracing that, and now it's like that's all you see. So quickly, This episode of Shelf Space is streaming across a whole bunch of channels. We have it on the two main, the Shelf Space YouTube and Facebook. We have it on Gina Be Collecting Facebook page and YouTube. And of course, my channel, Be Mother Reviews. You can watch it there as well. So let us know where you're watching it. All right, let's get into the show. We're going to start off with Best Small Statue.
All right.
Now, quickly, Gina and Charles do not know the winners, so they're kind of in the same boat as everyone watching. They have no idea who's won, so they're going to react live along with everybody. So let's jump right into it. Best Small Statue. This is part of the comics, movies, originals genre. Again, we've sort of split things up into that, and then we've got the anime stuff and gaming coming a bit later. So here we have 6 nominees this year, and we'll quickly introduce those. We've got the Cave Troll from Iron Studios. We saw this on the Inside Iron Studios event with all the little orcs and things around his feet. It looked awesome. It's small scale, but it's not that small. It's a big statue. Right. And I guess quickly before we get too much further, there were a couple changes to the small, medium, and large categories this year. A couple years ago, DC shut down DC Collectibles. So they were a big player in the small category, and they're not around anymore. So it basically left Iron Studios only. So what I did was we changed the criteria to be anything under 1/6 scale for this award. So that means the medium changed to 1/6, and then we moved 1/5 into the medium category, and large is 1/4 only. Okay, so this award became a little bit tougher this year. Another one from Iron Studios, we have the Clark Kent Deluxe Art Scale, and of course these are both 1/10 scale statues. We have from Royal Selangor, this is the Hulk Marvel Treasury number 5. They've got a whole series of these. These are made out of pewter, and they got
based on the classic John Romita Sr. cover.
Yeah, exactly. So they've got the character kind of bursting in 3D out of the comic book cover. There's a Spider-Man, a Superman, Batman. They're doing Thor, Captain America, and everything. So they have a whole line of these, and this Hulk one is pretty cool because they've colored the pewter green. So I thought that looked pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Here's another company that's just popped up in the last few years, Legendary Beast Studio. A lot of people get these guys mixed up with XM Studios because XM is kind of helping them with their production and distribution. But they are their own company, Legendary Beast Studio. We got the Juggernaut. This is, again, it's small because of the scale. It's a 1/7 scale, so it fits into this category, but this is a pretty big statue for that size. We have The Thing, part of the animated statue line from Gentle Giant. This is a small statue. They are only a few inches tall, but this animated line's been going on for years, and it always produces something pretty cool every year. So this year we chose The Thing.
Got enough votes to be part of the top statue
6
category.
Yeah, and then we have a Darth Vader from Kotobukiya. This is a unique design. It's called the Industrial Empire. It's kind of a steampunk take on Darth Vader, designed by Adi Granov. So there you have it. We're going to reveal first, second, and third place for this category. Quickly before we do, any predictions from the two of you guys? Or anyone in the comments?
Go first, or I'm okay.
You go first. Go first, Charles.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. I think Cave Troll is going to come first. Okay. Juggernaut will come second. And can I see all of them again before I go for my third? Just the
Darth Vader, Thing, Juggernaut, Hulk, Clark Kent, and Cave Troll.
I'm going to go Superman with third. So for whatever reason, that Darth Vader steampunk, I don't know, that one didn't resonate with me.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Cave Troll for number 1, Juggernaut number 2, and Superman number 3.
Okay, Gina.
I think the Juggernaut's going to be number 1. I think it's pretty impressive how they did that. And I think it also appeals to more people just because of the size of it. It's a bit larger. So I think a lot more collectors are aware of that statue. So I choose that. So I choose Juggernaut as number 1.
Okay.
Perhaps the Cave Troll is number 2. And then I would do the Clark Kent as number 3. I think the Darth Vader is really well done, but I know it's really just divisive, that statue. People either love it or hate it. And the steampunk, which, I mean, I think they pulled it off great, but I think the steampunk theme doesn't always, connect with Star Wars fans, especially with Star Wars being such a purist type of franchise. So, so number 1, Juggernaut, number 2, Cave Troll, number 3, Clark Kent.
Okay. All right. We'll just get right into it with the reveals here. We've got a number 3, the Hulk from Royal Selangor. This is kind of neat for them. I don't know if they've ever placed before. They always have kind of a neat little statue every year, and we try to include them. But this is the first time I think they've made it to the podium. So the Hulk,
and this is made out of pewter?
Yeah, the Hulk is the base is like a polystone or whatever, but the figure, the Hulk figure is
for whatever reason, pewter. It's not at least I don't think, a very embraced medium by the statue community. I think they like their hand-painted porcelain, even hand-painted PVC they'll go for. But pewter isn't something I'm seeing a lot of people saying, oh, I wish this came out in pewter.
What? It's expensive. They're expensive statues, but they're nice. I've got a Magneto. It's about,
I have some of their Star Wars ones. Yeah, I have some of their Star Wars pewter statues. Yeah,
they're really nice. I mean, for people, it's the type of thing. And you saw a couple in New York. Remember, we saw the Shogun. Was it the Shogun Batman or Samurai Batman and Iron Man in New York? Do you remember that?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're really nice. I mean, I think they are the type of thing, you got to see them in person. But Hulk, guess number 3. Number 2, Juggernaut from Legendary Beasts Studio. Very cool statue. This one's sculpted by Caleb Nefson, I believe. And the Hulk was sculpted by Mufazal. He's been on the show a few times. Both of those guys have been on the show a few times. And the winner of Best Small Statue
must be Cave Troll. No way.
Darth Vader.
That's great.
Vader.
Well, you know what? People like what they like.
Yeah.
And
so there you have it. Congratulations, Dakota Wakia. They have won this category before in the early days, but it's been a few years for them because Iron Studios had kind of taken over. But as I said, this year we made this category a little bit tougher by including some other scales and anything under 1/6. So there you have it. Best small statue with the Darth Vader. Dakota Wakia.
Well, congratulations. That's what people came out voting for. One of the things that I got to say that's very interesting about the statue community is unlike most industries that always kind of want more of the same and copy more of the same, statues is always going like, we've already seen this. We want to see something different. We want to see something new and more innovative and creative. Not many industries work like that, but statues and this is an example.
Someone in the chat actually that was their pick as well. Spiritual W Gaming, and then Casual Nerd, and Casual Nerd Problems. He was the same as me. I didn't expect that as well. I thought there's too many Star Wars fans are just too purist. But it looks like people chose the art over, screen accuracy. Like they chose the artistic interpretation over that. So that's a great surprise.
Yeah, Adi Granoff has his hands on so many different things. If he isn't designing posters for Tool or redesigning Black Panther for Marvel, and now he's got his hands on Star Wars. He's a very interesting fellow who.
Yeah, and
I think, we're really just scratching the surface of what goes on in that noggin of his creatively. Anyway,
did he designed the war tank for XM, I believe.
Yes, the War Machine.
So he's not a stranger to, and he's does a lot of stuff for Sideshow too, some original designs and things for them. So he's been around the statue game for a while, and great, tremendous artist. So there you have it, best small statue, Darth Vader. We're going to change to the best medium statue, and as I said, this category now includes 1/6 and 1/5 scale statues. 1/5 used to be in our large category, but we moved it down just to kind of keep it competitive. And here's our nominees this year. So we'll just quickly run through these. We've got from Sideshow Collectibles, this is the Asajj Ventress Mythos statue. I believe this is done by the K-Bros.
This is one of their longest lines. You know, that's great that fans have kept buying the Mythos Star Wars line because it's been kept alive by people who have been buying into it.
Yeah, and it disappeared for a while, and now it's back with several releases in the last year or so. So this one here came out. Now, Gina, you have this statue, I believe, right?
I do have it. Yep.
Holly, I agree with you. Very tough to choose from. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
We'll move on here from Tweeterhead. This is Hordak from the great Masters of the Universe genre. How could we not include a statue from that show in the awards here? Hordak from Tweeterhead, and Tweeterhead's been pumping out some really cool Motu statues for people who like that line.
I think this is David Igo's baby, right?
Yeah, he once he moved over to Tweeterhead, he brought with him his Masters of the Universe redesigns, and this one came out earlier this year, and I think it looks fantastic. Next up, we have Lobo from XM Studios. I think all three of us saw this statue at New York Comic Con in 2019. Very, very impressive statue. Again, we call it medium because it is 1/6 scale, but when you include this bike and the dog and everything on it, I mean, it's a big statue. Really, really cool. Another one from HMO. This is their Warhammer 40K line. This is Logan Grimnar. Kind of just snuck out right at the end of the year, kind of right under the wire, and got included here. Really cool statue, continuing their Warhammer line. From Oniri Creations. This is a company that is based in France, I believe, and just got into the DC arena. They were sort of more of an anime company the last couple years, and this year they have this Superman 4 Tomorrow, based on a comic book cover, I think a Jim Lee comic book cover. A pretty cool statue there. And then we have from Weta Workshop. Now this is the ultimate, quotation marks, medium statue. It's probably the biggest statue in the whole competition, but it is 1/6 scale. Part of their what do they call it? The Master Series or something like that from Weta. It stands about 1 meter tall.
Wow, so much to look at on that one. It's really, really nice.
Yeah,
you don't even have to be a Hobbit fan to really like that,
Yeah, of course, this one based on The Hobbit, and Weta did, I believe, all the designs and props and everything's for the movie. So these are sculpted by people that actually worked on the movies themselves. So there you have it. I think that's all 6 right there. Any predictions from? We'll start with Gina this time.
So I'm not sure if I'm going to give my predictions or who I personally want to win. I think maybe I'll give my own.
Not always the same. Not always.
Yeah,
the same,
and
right?
so I'll give. Yeah. I'll give who I personally think I would like to see win. Because it's too hard to predict. I mean, all of those nominees deserve to be either 1, 2, or 3. So who I would like to see win, and I'm pretty close to Statue Fanatic. His choice that he was mentioning in the comics. I would like to see win Asajj Ventress. I mean, other than having a huge edition size, which some people may see as a fault. I mean,
rubs some people the wrong way.
Yeah, it rubs people the wrong way. That's probably the most safest way to put it. Other than that, the version I received was outstanding, and it was probably my favorite statue of the year, or up there. So that should be number 1. Number 2, the Lobo. That Lobo, I think that it's just unbelievable. I saw it at the New York Comic Con, and what they were able to do in 6 scale it was just incredible.
And there are a lot of switch outs for that one too. Different portraits, different ways of positioning.
So many different ways to position it.
Very
and
cool
then number 3, a character who I have no affiliation with, I'm not connected to at all, but I think the statue just turned out amazing, and that's that Hordak from Tweeterhead. I think it turned out really well.
Okay. Charles?
Well, I am stuck. I don't know what to do 1, 2, and 3, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think number 1 will be Asajj Ventress. Number 2 will be Lobo, and number 3 will be that Hobbit statue. But I think any of those 3 could have been number 1.
Yeah, this was a tough one to predict. Like I always try to predict too, like before the voting starts, what I think is going to win, and this one was tough.
I think,
but let's,
just one last thing. Sorry.
Sure.
I think Masters of the Universe. I wonder how many generations that show is for. Whereas Batman has many generations and Star Wars.
Well, yeah, Masters of the Universe would be big for people, my age probably. And Gina, I don't know if you were big into Masters of the Universe.
It came out around my time.
Yeah,
or a little bit before, but I really wasn't into it, but it did come out.
Yeah, it's an 80s. It's a late 80s, mid to late 80s.
So I wonder how that would present or impact the voting, because it seems like a generational. But we'll see. So
okay, well, let's find out. Let's go. Third place, Lobo from XM Studios. Definitely, like you said, they could have been the winner. This was a pretty tight category, actually, in terms of how the vote was spread around. We'll go to second place. We have Superman.
Really?
Creations.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is kind of their debut into this comics, movies, and original side of things, and they kick it off with a second place, Superman. So, and first place, let's see what it is. Thranduil, the Woodland King from Weta Workshop. So there you have it. So people,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
As I said, this statue is medium, kind of in name only. It's a massive piece with that enormous throne. The characters are 1/6. You got the guard, and you got, of course, Thranduil there on his throne. But it's really, really impressive. If you watch some of the videos on this thing, it deserves it. It's a great statue. Really, really nice statue.
Color me surprised. I thought for sure Asajj Ventress was going to make it.
I thought it would just be up. Yeah, I thought she'd at least be in one of those 3. But casual nerd problems in the comment section got it. So that's great.
Asajj Ventress finished in 4th, just behind Lobo. Like I said, this was pretty packed. The top 4. Thranduil had 23%, and then we had Superman at 22%, Lobo at 18%, and Asajj Ventress had 17%. So it was all pretty tight.
Sorry, what did you say for Superman?
22%.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a narrow victory here, but Thranduil takes that crown for best medium statue of 2021.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember if I've seen many people post pictures of this statue.
Yeah, I haven't seen any in-hand photos of that one, so it's interesting.
Which one? The Superman?
Yes, correct. I haven't seen any.
I obviously saw some kicking around. That's kind of how I know stuff comes out. I spend way too much time on Facebook, and once I see some in-hand photos, it's usually a couple videos as well kicking around out there.
How did it look in the in-hand photos, Kris?
I thought it looked pretty good. That's a big criteria. I rely on the reviews and photos out there that everyone's putting out on Facebook and YouTube, because we don't get a chance to see all of these in hand. So I'm relying on those reviews just like anybody else. So there you have it. The best medium statue category. So we're going to switch gears a little bit here, and we're going to move on to the gaming statue, best gaming statue. So this has become more and more popular as the years go on. So we'll get quickly into our nominees here. So 6 nominees again this year, or in this category. We have from Pure Arts. This is the Assassin's Creed Animus Ivor. This is from the Valhalla. I think it's called Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's like a Viking style of game. They always kind of change the theme of those games every time. And something unique about this piece is it can be either male or female. There's a switch out head, and you can change it from from male to female. So kind of neat there. So from
With
Pure
the
Arts.
same body?
With the same body.
Never seen that before. The
Yeah,
statues.
I haven't either.
It's a first, but you know,
Okay.
it's wearing some armor and stuff. So I mean, I guess you couldn't really tell.
Yeah.
But anyway, because in the game you could change your character, you know, from male to female. So
You know,
makes sense.
I like the way Pure Arts does their mixed media. You know, their last Assassin's Creed looked pretty good too. The way they kind of had the lighting and the PVC, and it just
they've won this category the last 2 years with an Assassin's Creed statue. So this one, hoping to continue that tradition. Next, we have from Blizzard. This is Lich King Arthas from World of Warcraft, and they put out a handful of statues every year. Blizzard does, and you know, usually they turn out pretty nice. So we had this one here, Arthas from Warcraft. Really cool character with the armor and the sword and everything. So cape, pretty neat statue. We have from Prime One Studio. They're getting big into the gaming arena the last few years. We have from Devil May Cry 5. This is Dante from Prime One Studio. We have Kratos and Atreus from God of War, again from Prime One Studio. And I've seen both of those. I saw them at Wonder Festival in Tokyo a couple years ago, 2019. And yeah, both really, really cool pieces. We have from a kind of a newer company, Tri-Eagle Studio. I believe they're based in China. We have the Mai Shiranui. This is a very popular character in Asia, Japan, and China, especially from the King of Fighters series. And we've got from PCS, this is Venom Pool. Of course, you know, Marvel, but it is part of the Marvel gaming universe. So all of PCS's Marvel line is from like the Strike Force Marvel games and things. So there you have it. This statue is 1/3 scale, and it's this great big massive piece. So really huge statue from PCS. So there you have it. We ran through the 6. Charles, I know you love gaming.
Yes.
So
you know me well. He's being sarcastic, folks, just in case you don't know. So I'm just gonna go based on what I see online. This isn't my particular world, so I'm gonna say I think Mai is gonna win.
Okay.
I think number 2 is gonna be Kratos, and number 3 is gonna be the Lich King.
Okay.
Gina? And just before you go, Gina, the reason why I'm saying this is I kind of get a sense of what a lot of the gaming community like in some of their statues, and
you're saying they like the TNA,
and Kratos seems to have a lot of steam. He's been represented in statue format quite a few times over the years. So
yeah, it's an ongoing series on PlayStation. They've had you know several God of War games throughout the years. So yeah, he's stuck around quite a while.
Yeah. So those are my 3.
Okay, Gina.
I don't game. As I always tease Kris, I have a self-imposed ban on gaming for myself. So I'm going to go just purely by the artistic merits of the statues. I really like the God of War, and to have those 2 characters on that base, it's almost like a diorama, taking that specific scene from the game, obviously. And I don't know the game, but I can obviously tell that it's taking a specific scene. I'm guessing their father-son. I'm guessing. So yeah, I think that's number 1, and I know that it has such a huge fan base. So I'm guessing perhaps the God of War will be number 1. Number 2 is that Mai statue. I think it's just beautiful. So that might be number 2, and then number 3, the Assassin's Creed. I think Pure Arts has already proven themselves with that line, and I think this one it sort of keeps with the high standards and what they've done with the previous Assassin's Creed statues that they've done. So those are my 3 choices.
All right. Well, let's get right into it here. 3rd place, we got the Lich King from Blizzard.
Called that one as
Charles got that one. He's a gaming expert.
Yes, that's me.
Here we go at number 2. Kratos from or Kratos. I'm not sure how you say the name, to be honest with you. I've never played God of War. There we go. At number 2 and at number 1.
No way.
The Assassin's Creed. So I've shown it here now with the female portrait. So there you have it. Previously it was with the male, and he's got a beard and everything, and then this is the female. So that's the only statue that I know of that you can switch the gender.
Yeah.
Well,
like
this
that.
one
So,
kind of looks more androgynous than female, but you know.
well, she's a Viking warrior, so you know.
But it might make sense
I
though,
don't
like
know. Like-
in the game, if the skin, if you change your skins, and the only thing that really changes is the head, then it makes sense the statue would be exactly the same, right? So
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, same armor and everything like that. So Pure Arts, that's I believe 3 years in a row that they've won the game best gaming award.
Well,
Best gaming
congratulations
statue
to
award.
them.
So Pure Arts is a Canadian company, just in case anybody wondering,
Right.
based, I believe, in Montreal.
can't
That's
believe that
right.
Mai didn't get on there. Interesting.
I'm
Well,
quite
let's see.
surprised
Let's
too.
see where
Did
she
win in another
finished.
year? Did Mai win in a previous year?
Well, the HMO did a Mai sure knew a couple years ago. Didn't win, but it was nominated. So you might be thinking of that one.
It didn't get like a 2 or a 3 or something, or
That was
it might
HMO.
have.
I remember they did a
might
big
have,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember where it placed, but it didn't win.
I
So
remember that one was really well received. So maybe they got their fill with that one and didn't come for the second showing.
yeah,
That happens too.
maybe. And Tri Eagles is a bit of a newer company too, so maybe just not enough exposure. But again, all 6 were really nice, but it can only be one winner, and we've got the man and woman version of the Assassin's Creed Ivor from Pure Arts. Okay, switch gears again here. We're going to jump into the anime world. We're going to kick it off with the medium. So this is anything sort of 1/6 scale and under. We don't have a small category. There's not quite enough there to have 4 different categories on the anime side. So we just do medium and large. So let's get into it here. Now, this year we had a few new companies represented. And I have to say, this genre is really hard to follow for myself and maybe for you guys too. There's a lot
absolutely
of unlicensed pieces out there, and a lot of the big anime collectors, that's all they collect is these unlicensed pieces. So and it's very hard for me to determine at times what's licensed, what's not. Some of these companies don't have websites, they don't even have Facebook pages, so it's really, you're kind of scouring around looking for stuff. But I think we got a nice selection this year, so we'll just go through it here. We have another statue from Oniri Creations. This is their Guts and Zod versus Ganishka. This is from the Berserk anime, and again, this is medium. It's an enormous piece. This creature with the wings is gigantic. If you look at some of the reviews and stuff, so but it is 1/6 scale, so it fits here. We have from Revive Studio. This is called Jiraiya. It's got a nice light up feature on the base, so it's a pretty neat piece when you see the in-hand photos and videos. We have from Sume Art.
Great.
Yeah, brand new logo for Sume this year, if people notice there. So this is Jiraiya One Last Heartbeat. You can see the character at the bottom there is sort of on his last legs as these, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5 characters around him are sort of taking turns throwing knives into his back. So kind of a neat scene there from Sume. And let's see, I skipped one there. We've got, this is from Hex Collectibles. Now, if people are aware of a company called Studio Hive, who used to do a lot of statue designs, especially for XM Studios in the early days. Studio Hive kind of opened their own collectibles wing, and they call it Hex Collectibles. So this is the group behind Studio Hive here with Uchiha Sasuke. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing these names. I have no idea how to properly pronounce these, but this is a pretty cool piece. Anime statues often feature a lot of clear resin with these sort of monstrous summons up behind the characters, always done in clear resin. So they did a great job with this one.
Kind of seemingly very cartoony looking.
Yeah, and that's what the collectors want, right? So yeah. We got one more here. This is from a company called Jime Palace, and this is Marshall D. Teach, better known as Blackbeard from the I believe the One Piece series. Very cool piece. A lot of people think this is one of the best anime statues around. from Jimmy Palace, and they're a company, another Chinese company that, again, hard to follow. They don't have a website. They don't have their own Facebook page. They have a group, a Facebook group, and you have to kind of follow along there. Their stuff is now becoming available on Sideshow. So some of their statues you'll find there. And they pump out a lot of stuff every year. So I put up a poll in their Facebook group, see what's of those collectors, which one was the best. This is the one that they chose.
Just look at this thing. I mean, there's so many ideas on it, so many different colors, so many things happening. I feel like cheated in a way because I don't know what a lot of it means. Like, whose sword is that? Somebody probably knows whose sword that is, what those gems mean, who that guy dying on the base is. Why he has like blue lightning, whatever you call it, on the left side of his cape. And is he a pirate? I mean, like, there's so much going on that I don't have answers to any of those questions.
Yeah.
So, you're stuck going on artistic merit for this category, or at least for me.
Yeah. And from Figurama Collectors, this is their second Tokyo Ghoul statue. This is Tuka versus Tsukiyama. So this is one I've seen the prototype of this piece. I saw it at Winter Festival a couple years ago. Nice follow-up to their Kaneki versus Yomori from a couple years ago, which I think won. I believe it did a year or two ago. So some Figurama, and Figurama has kind of dominated this anime category since we brought it into the fold here a couple years ago. So there we have it, all 6 right there. Gina, what do you think?
Once again, it's a category that I'm not familiar with, but I'm gonna go with some of the people say in the chat who know more about this anime category than I do, way more than I. And they're all saying that last Figurama Tuka one should win. So I'm going to put that as number 1. I'm going to listen to the experts in the comment section who already know this category. So Tuka, I did like that. I did like that pirate one that you were showing. So that's probably number 2.
And is it a pirate? Like, I
think it's a pirate.
I think so, yeah.
And once again, I'm going with the experts, and the experts are calling it a pirate. And
Marshall P. Teach, Blackbeard. Yeah,
Blackbeard number 2.
Yeah.
Can't remember the other ones. If you can go back. Sorry,
okay,
Kris.
Let's go. We've got Figurama. You've got that one there.
Not that
it's from
one,
Hex
no.
Collectibles. Sume.
This one.
What?
Yes, that I would say they have such a big Sume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sume. Yeah. They have such a big following. I think for them not to be at least somewhere in the top 3, I would be surprised. So yeah, that would be my 3rd choice.
Okay, Charles.
Okay, so once again, Gina and I seem to like a lot of the same things. Our eyes are drawn to very similar things.
Okay.
I'm going to shake it up with 1. I think Tuka is going to be number 1. I think Uchila, the one with the purple. Yeah, Chiha, sorry.
Okay.
That's my number 3. And the Tsume Juria is number 2.
Okay.
I didn't pick the pirate.
I got my fingers crossed for the pirate.
Okay.
That's the one.
Okay.
Because you just showed it again, and I'm actually really liking it.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool statue.
Out of all these nominated pieces, so I got my fingers crossed for that to be at least somewhere in the top 3.
All right, let's get into it here. Now, this one was actually pretty tight. Previous years Figuramas just kind of ran away with it. This one was tight, and this year we had voting. On the website with the main vote form. I also did every day. I had a couple categories to vote on Instagram. Using the stories on Instagram, so there was a 24-hour period for each category. And this one was interesting because on Instagram we had one statue run away with it, and then on the website votes we had a different statue that ran away with it. So you put them together, and it became a pretty tight competition. So in 3rd place, we have the Guts versus Zod from Oniri Creations. So good on them. They picked up 2 podium finishes here. This is Berserk is a really, really popular anime. So I'm not super surprised to see it there. And number 2, we've got the Jiraiya from One Last Heartbeat from Sume. And just finished in 2nd place. It was so close. And in 1st place from Figurama, They retain the title for the third year in a row. We got the Tuca versus Tsukiyama from Figurama. So congrats to them.
So we're doing pretty well in terms of our guessing, I think.
Yeah.
We pretty much get them. But Figurama, we've interviewed the proprietor of
Mr. Shinab,
and we get our biggest numbers when he shows up. So it has something to say for their product and their fan base. They want to always know what's coming out or what's new, and so I'm not surprised by Figurama winning. Was it by a big margin or
no? Not in this one. It was close. It was. I'll tell you here. Tuca Tsukiyama had 33% of the vote. Jiraiya One Last Heartbeat had 29.3. So that's pretty tight. And then there was a bit of a fall off to Guts and Zod had 14. So it was tight at the top there. Like I said, one statue on Instagram was a clear favorite, and then the other one was a favorite on the main site. So kind of interesting there. So there we have it. Best medium anime manga statue is this Tuca Tsukiyama from Figurama. So let's move on to best bust. So this might be something you guys have a little bit more knowledge of. So we will jump right into that. We got another 6 nominees this year. And the bus, the last few years with Infinity Studio, Queen Studios have just really launched into these hyper real materials. They're using rooted hair, they're using silicone, they're using glass eyes. It looks like you have actually the actor or character in your house. They're incredible. So let's just go through our 6 nominees here real quick. We have from Queen Studios the Alita Battle Angel, based on the look of her movie. This is an anime and manga series, but this is based on the movie version of Alita. Have either of you seen the movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of a cool movie. I thought it ended kind of like it needs a sequel, so maybe I hope it gets one. I didn't mind that movie. From Elite Creature Collectibles, they always put out a bunch of original stuff every year, and some horror stuff usually. But this year they had this here. It's called Anubis. I'm always drawn to ancient Egypt themery, so this one really caught my eye. They also had this Cyclops, like the Greek monster, with one eye bust. But I chose this one here just because it is something a little bit different, and looks like it turned out really, really well. We have from Infinity Studio, Bruce Lee. And this one just kind of came out sort of towards the end of the year. Started seeing some videos and pictures of it pop up. Looks incredible.
Yes, I've seen some in-hand pics. This one is out of this world. It looks amazing.
Yeah, and they gave him like kind of like a stubble. Like they rooted all the hair there and then like shaved it off, so it looks like he's has this sort of bearded thing. His hands are fully silicone, like they'll bend, and you can bend his fingers right back and everything. Like this is insane. From Sume, this is their first life-size bust, Ichigo Kurosaki, and just a great big massive bust. The sword on his back is enormous, and a lot of anime fans really, really like this one. Anime life-size busts. I wouldn't have thought that could happen and be successful, but because there's not a lot of detail in the cartoons, right, or in the the TV shows. So this one turned out really, really cool. From Sume, we got the Joker from, of course, the Joaquin Phoenix 2019 Joker movie. This one again, silicone rooted hair, very, very cool piece from Queen Studios. And another one from Infinity. I went with the Superman Justice League Henry Cavill life-size bust. Another one, again, it's all fully silicone, cloth outfit and everything like that. And I've seen this one in person, and really, really cool. Really, really cool. They had an Aquaman come out too, kind of towards the end of the year that I almost put in over this one. I opted for this one just because I've seen it in person. The reviews are great. And so I can say, with knowledge that this one is awesome. So there you have it. There's the 6 nominees.
Yeah.
Which let's start with Charles this time. Let's get your predictions.
I've kind of knew what my three were going to be before we even went into this category. I
Okay.
had an idea of what all the busts were. I'm going to go with Bruce Lee number 1, Joker number 2, and Superman number 3. I just didn't think that Tsume 1 just had enough to bump those other 3 off. It just I'm not taking away from the character. I just think that it doesn't take full advantage of the medium in terms of complexity and design and mixed media. It just looks like a big cookie jar.
Okay.
So
you've just enraged like half the fan base. Yeah. Okay. Gina, what do you think?
I'm going to be pretty close to what Charles was saying, but I'm going to be different with number 3. So I think that Bruce Lee should be number 1.
Okay.
And then number 2, the Joker. They did an amazing job with the Joker.
Okay.
And then number 3, I think Tsume is going to be number 3.
Okay.
Just because they have such a huge fan base. It's the first bust that they've done. So maybe it's, probably pretty, anticipated. And they always have a good following. And they're, so I think it's going to be on the podium. I think it's going to be there at number 3.
Okay. Let's not waste any time. We'll get right into it here. At number 3, Gina, you're right. From Tsume, the Ichigo Kurosaki. And like I said, I had a lot of people tell me this is, one of their favorite statues they've ever seen. So good on them.
Really?
Good on them. Wow.
One of the
if you're into that show, then this is the version of that character to have. Now Tsume also has coming out probably this year at some point a Predator life-size bust, like the original Jungle Hunter Predator. So I'm really interested to see how that one turns out. A very cool piece. So they, their first life-size bust, Ichigo picks up third place. Second place, we got the Joker. Gina is banging on the money so far. This one's awesome. This is another one that kind of came out sort of towards the end of 2021. And for me, like, I didn't love this movie. Like, I thought it was okay.
Same.
But this is like, there's one point in the movie where you look at him and say, okay, whoa, that's not the same guy as he was earlier in the movie. He's a bad dude now. And it's this look right here. This like dead, like evil look in his eyes. Like he'd slice your throat, not think twice. And, I think if I could pick it, this would be the Joker, the look to give. So I think they nailed it on this one. So there we go. Number 2, Queen Studios, Joker. And at number 1, the Bruce Lee from Infinity Studio. So, I think I kind of agree with you guys. This one really stood out as being exceptional. So,
the likeness was so bang on. And what's interesting is that the technology, the creativity that we're seeing in statue design right now for these life-size busts, we're not even that surprised anymore when we see the likeness be bang on. But I'm sure it takes an immense amount of work to get that complex, form.
But I think the next question though is, are other companies going to take notice and start incorporating this? And say, listen, these are popular. There's, they have a huge fan base and they're selling out. So I'm wondering if
at that price, too.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Yeah, I mean, I can understand where companies in a few years ago would be hesitant. Other companies would be hesitant, saying, "Listen, the price point, people aren't going to buy it." But now that there's proof of concept with these,
you remember
with these
a few years ago, it was like, oh, silicone and real hair. It's like people were really hesitant, and now a couple years later, it's like there's a few of them come out more and more every year, and they're incredible. They're incredible.
And would Sideshow with other companies like XM Studios take notice? Now that's what companies in any industry do. They wait for a proof of concept to say, hey, wait, someone else did it. Let them do it and see if it works. If it works and sells out. So that I think, maybe in the statue awards from years to come, it'd be every company has sort of dipped their toes in doing this. Yeah.
And now, as we'll see a little bit later, there's some smaller scale statues that are using silicone and glass eyes. And HMO has been using glass eyes for a few years now, but the silicone skin on smaller scale stuff, The rooted hair we're seeing on smaller scale stuff. So it's sort of making its way, kind of slowly permeating down into the rest of the industry. So very
I'm
cool.
not quite convinced with long hair just yet. I find that the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, the promo prelim pictures, they looked
Yeah.
amazing.
Well,
And
they
when
got to stuff it into a box, and then you got to take it out of the box and somehow have the
I haven't
hairstyle.
seen
So
anyone be able to style her hair
yeah.
in any of the in-hand show photos. I haven't seen anyone like
Which
hair.
bus was that? Which was that?
Well,
Infinity Studios?
I think it
well,
was also
in Queen
studios.
Studios had one, and Queen Studios is the one where she's like this,
Yeah.
and Infinity Studio, she's got her arms out, I think. So there's two different Wonder Womans out there. Actually, the Infinity Studio won last year. It won the industry award, and it won the best bust last year.
Yeah. Well,
So
with regards to the Tsumi winning, I get that the fans came out for it and they're really supportive, but I sit here and it feels like when Rolling Stone's Tattoo You album is like #2 album of the year, and it's not. You can't compare it to some of their best stuff, but people are so used to, voting for the Rolling Stones year after year, regardless of what they came out with.
well, it is a public vote, so I mean there's a bit of that every year. But as I said,
Well, I mean, just to play devil's
people-
advocate, because I do see what you're saying, Charles. Because I chose Sume just because I figured the fan base. I was choosing what I think would win, not who I want to win, right? So I do see where you're coming from. But to play devil's advocate, perhaps anime fans, maybe people chose it because we've never had a full size anime bust, life size anime bust, and to see there've been tons of anime collectibles in quarter scale, 6 scale, whatever. But to have your favorite anime character 1-to-1 buzz, I mean, to see that in person may look amazing. It may look, it may be, form a complete connection. It's like, holy crap. Like to see this in 1-to-1, my favorite character that I see on anime, tiny, and now I'm seeing it 1-to-1. It may look amazing in person. I don't know.
The unboxing videos and review videos, it gets really well done. It comes in one of those big like trunks, with the latches, and you flip this. It's got hinges on it and stuff. Like it's just this great big massive box. Like this thing it's enormous with this sword and everything. So really cool. Okay, we're gonna move on to the best large anime statue. And this is another very popular category in the past that has been dominated by Figurama collectors. And again, another 6 nominees this year.
Hold on, Sebastian Tuca won the anime medium.
Yeah, was somebody asking? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get in quickly to our 6 nominees. We have another one from Sume. This is the Berserk. It's part of their HQS Plus line. Now, this one, I'll admit, probably it might even be smaller than the other Guts statue that we saw in the medium. But this one, generally, I put the HQS Plus line from Sume in large because they're bigger, they're much more expensive. They just kind of fit better in this category. So I know people have told me, "Oh, hey, it should be medium." That's why it's here, and it's a very cool statue from the Berserk anime as well, from Prime One Studio, who are doing more and more anime statues every year. I think they've seen the light here, or the potential for this genre for them. So this is Super Saiyan Son Goku from Dragon Ball. I want to say Z because I'm Canadian, but I know it's Dragon Ball Z. It's a very popular character around the world, just huge anime from them. And this is a new company, Iron Kite Studio. They do have some Marvel licensed stuff too, and they're going to be doing some life-size busts. They've got a Wolverine, like a Logan style Wolverine, comic-based unmasked Wolverine. Very cool. This is Kakashi Hatake or Hataki. I again apologize if I'm getting that wrong. Move on from Unique Art Studio. This is Sanji, and again, as I mentioned off the top, this category is really hard to follow. I think this statue is out for what I could tell. But it might might be still on pre-order. I don't know, but I thought it was out. I've seen some unique art stuff in person at Wonder Festival in the past, and they always do a really nice job. So we've got Sanji there from them.
I'd say I'm really familiar with that company. The one that United, what did you call them?
Unique art.
Unique
Yeah,
Art?
I just kind of stumbled across their booth at the Wonder Festival a couple years ago, and they have some larger scale, like 1/4 scale anime, mostly One Piece anime statues. This character here is from that One Piece anime, it's called, and so they're smaller company. They do sort of 2 or 3 statues a year type thing. And then we got the Beast from Figurama Collectors. This is their Attack on Titan, Aaron Titan versus Armored Titan, part of their Elite exclusive line. So just an enormous piece. And I was just telling you guys, I've got this statue. I'm actually looking at it. It's right over there in front of me. And it shipped to me in July of last year and showed up on my doorstep literally like 3 days ago.
That's got to be a record. 6-7 months.
Yeah, so I've just got a firsthand look at this piece in person. The base, the sort of pedestal base you see there around the bottom of the statue is 24 inches in diameter.
Yeah.
So the statue is huge, and it's definitely belongs here in the large anime category. So that's all 6. What do you guys? Oh, sorry, one more. We have another Dragon Ball Z character. This is a diorama featuring Super Saiyan Trunks versus Mecha Frieza. So this is lifted right from a scene of the anime where this character Trunks with the sword slices this villain in half. So another Dragon Ball scene from a company called Soul Wing, new to the competition as well. So there you have all 6.
New companies coming out to play.
Yep, the anime world is starting to explode. As I said, when we first included Sume a few years ago, they were kind of the only dog in that fight, and now it's really competitive. So what do you guys think? We'll start with Charles.
I think the Titan, the Caleb Nefson Attack on Titan, is going to win.
Yep.
I think Berserk is going to be number 2, and the Prime 1 Dragon Ball.
Okay. Gina?
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Zed. I'm thinking the same that what a lot of people in the chat is saying as well, from Ray, the statue fanatic, Hugo. I'm thinking that Attack on Titans, the same thing with Charles as well. Attack on Titans, I think will be number 1, and that would be my personal choice as well. I think it should be number 1. I really liked the Dragon Ball, the Goku with the sun thing, so that might be number 2, and the Berserker number 3. Those would be my choices.
Okay, good picks. Let's find out here. Number 3, Berserk from Sume.
That's right.
So they got 2nd in the medium, they got 3rd in the large, and they got 3rd in the bus. So they had a pretty good year. Sume back on the podium again. At number 2,
that's right.
Goku from Prime 1. So you got the first 2, Gina. So there you go. Super popular character, but this was probably the most lopsided victory of the entire competition.
Oh, yeah.
And at number 1, we've got the Attack on Titan.
Yeah, people were talking about Attack on Titan, like at the prelim stage, before even people could order it. People were very excited. And, it was an eagerly awaited statue for collectors of this line.
This, it's both a manga and an anime, and has just it's insanely popular, especially in Japan, where they've got like theme parks, Attack on Titan theme parks in Japan.
Oh, really?
It's nuts. So this show is completely taken off, and I think it's about to wrap up like into its final season. So people are still really excited about this show. So there you have it. Attack on Titan. Again, as you mentioned, Charles, this one's sculpted by Caleb Nefson, who's been on the show in the past. Really talented sculptor, still doing some great work.
And he's done a few statues for Figurama over the years. Definitely,
he has. Yeah, he did the Devilman statue for Figurama, and I think the Bleach statue, which is just starting to ship now. So yeah, he's a familiar name for them, and done some of their best pieces. There we have it. Congrats to
Cool.
Figurama.
Congrats.
We're going to move on to extra large in the comics, movies, and originals category, or genre, I should say. And this one we expand the list to 8. It's a little bit more competitive. There's more stuff there to choose from. So we expand it to 8 instead of 6. So we'll just jump into our nominees here. We've got Aquaman. This is a 1/2 scale Aquaman, based, of course, on the movie version. Jason Momoa from Queen Studios. We've got from J&D Studio, new company or newer company, and this is one of those ones that I mentioned that has silicone skin. It's got the glass eyes, it's got the rooted hair, and this is Arthur Fleck from the Joker movie again. This one kind of neat because we've seen lots of Joker stuff from that movie, with the makeup and the costume and the green hair, but we don't see a lot of Arthur Fleck, and I just thought they really nailed the likeness.
Do you know if the bag is actually bag?
Yeah, it is. It's a paper bag. Yeah, it's a paper bag. So they went with all tried to go accurate materials, and even inside the bag it has like his groceries and things. So it's all in there. I think there's a gun or something in there as well. So really cool. They tried to go like extreme accuracy there. From Prime One Studio, the Batman Batcave, based on the Batman Hush series, very, very popular. Jim Lee art. That series has really stood the test of time. People still love it.
They also released a black version of this.
They did, yeah. So that one I think is still on a pre-order stage. This the blue version, which is I believe in the series he does wear gray and blue. So this is the one right from the pages, and then to appease Batman fans, they usually do a blue and a black later on. So there you have it, the Batman Hush Batcave version. We have from XM Studios, their outstanding Transformers line. We've got Grimlock, and this is their biggest one yet. Just an enormous Transformer, and to say that it's the biggest one yet, knowing that I've seen Optimus Prime, I've seen the Starscream, and those got delivered to my house and my office at work on a pallet. Okay, like that's how big the box was. It was 100 pounds, the Optimus Prime box, and this one's even bigger.
Crazy, 100 pounds.
100 pounds, and this one's even bigger.
I'm like 100 pounds. I wouldn't know what to do with that.
Yeah, I know it was. It was insane. Another one from Prime One Studio. This is the Red Sonja, or Sonia, or however you say her name properly. And is it Sonia?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing around.
Oh, okay. I don't know how you say her name. I say Sonia. And another statue that I saw at Wonder Festival the last time I went, and just so impressive with the snake, the dragon type thing that she's fighting there, and the sword. She's got some switch outs. And the cape is mixed media.
The body is spectacular. Usually when you're watching, you're looking at the female form, they get certain parts of it right, and they get other parts maybe not so right. But body-wise, this is really as good as it gets. It is a remarkable piece.
It's really, really good. Really, really good. I know, Gina, you were tempted by it for a long time.
I'm still so tempted to get it. The only thing that stopped me was just, I haven't gotten any 1/3 scale.
Yeah.
And it's huge. I think it's close to 30 centimeters tall. Sorry, 30 inches.
Yeah, it's a big one. Then we've got from Iron Studios. This is part of their X-Men versus Sentinel line. There's 3 of them. So there's 3 dioramas. They got a 1, 2, and a 3. So I picked the number 3. I really could have went with any of the 3. They're all very cool. I picked this one because I like the Psylocke and the Archangel and Storm, and the way the Iceman. I just thought the interaction with the characters was a little better. But again, it could have picked any of the 3. And very popular series. I put these in X large. This is technically 1/10 scale, but and you can buy each of these pieces separately, but you can't combine them if you buy them separately. So the only way to get this diorama is to buy it as one piece. So they all go here in extra large. So Iron Studios X-Men versus Sentinel number 3. And then we got another Transformer from XM Studios, Soundwave. Looks like it turned out amazing. I know some people are upset with he's a little slim or something like that, but as a standalone statue, this might be my favorite of the Transformers line from XM. I think Soundwave is such a cool character. It's one of the only Transformers I had as a kid, and he transforms into a Walkman.
Yeah, I think it's because his leg is bent that they think he was smaller scale.
Yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into that. I know it was kind of running around Facebook and stuff. The size of the statue, it looks enormous to me, and I think it turned out great. So, Soundwave from XM Studios, and I believe one more here we got from Legendary Beast, who are doing a 1/3 scale Marvel line. I think they're the only company out there doing 1/3 scale Marvel.
Oh.
And again, people confuse them with XM Studios. But it's not. This is Legendary Beast. So they had the Captain America last year, Thor this year. Very cool base on this statue. They have sort of the carved marble, sort of the
relief.
Yeah, and the story of Thor with the dragon and him fighting Loki and all that stuff, and the big wolf and everything around the base. So very, very cool. And they've got Magneto coming up. They've got a Cyclops coming up. So this Marvel 1/3 line is going to get bigger. So that's all 8. Let's go, Gina. What are your predictions for best extra large statue?
So I know you and I were talking about this before, Kris, in messages, and I'm thinking, and I've said this to you before, and I'm thinking exactly what Hugo is thinking in the comment section there, that I think just that Hush statue, and not just the comics, but the statue itself has been so popular. I think that's going to be number 1.
Okay.
So Prime 1 Hush. I'm just loving that Red Sonja. So for me, it would be Red Sonja would be number 1, but I think Red Sonja might be 2 or 3. So I'll put her 2. And I'm going to put the Arthur Fleck. I think J&D also has a very huge following now. It's really building up and thing, and I think rightfully so. I think this deserves to be on the podium. I mean, it's beautiful, and it might actually be the start of more, quarter scale statues with silicone skin, glass eyes, rooted hair. It might start, just this momentum for other companies to sort of follow suit. Mm-hmm. So those are my 3. I don't think it's going to be that, but I don't think it's going to end up with.
Okay.
It's the closest I can get.
All right, Charles, what do you think?
Okay. Again, I'm in agreement with how Gina chose things based on what she thinks would win. But I'm going to vote with what I would vote to win this time around. I kind of teeter between both what I think would win and what I would like to see win. I'm going to pass on the Transformers this time around because I think they've won in past years, and this is kind of looking more of the same. I'm not seeing something particularly innovative and creative in the Transformer line. Nor should I expect it. You want it to look similar to what's already been released, but I think it loses a Statue of the Year award because of that, because we're not seeing something new. So number 3, I'm going to go with Thor, because they're launching a new Marvel line. The base is very creative. I think it's a really good interpretation of Thor. It's not over the top. Number 2, I'm going to go with Batman Hush. Okay. I think it will probably be number 1, but I don't think it's the best statue in this category.
I agree.
I think Red Sonja ran away with it. I think that you're walking by a statue display and it has all of those statues on display. Which is the one that's going to make you go, holy shit, wow. I think, for me, the Red Sonja does that. Batman, it's a nice-looking statue, but I'm not really floored by it. But I think, there are enough Jim Lee Batman third-scale fans out there that, they will push the vote.
Well, I could tell you your reaction or predicted reaction to to the Red Sonja is accurate, because that's what I thought when I saw it. I was walking around the Prime Run booth and they had some awesome stuff there. And then you come to the Red Sonja and it's like, holy crap, that is awesome. With the snake and how like the venom is dripping off the fangs and stuff. So yeah, it's really cool. Okay, but let's
But
get into the
voters
reveals.
get to decide.
What's that?
The voters get to decide.
That's right. That's right. It's up to the viewers and the voters. So let's go into number 3, Thor from Legendary Beast Studio. It's a nice looking Thor. You know, simple museum pose, but you know, a lot of times less is more. And this one,
final
people
product
liked it.
looks very much like the promo. So, you know, I'm not hearing anybody saying they changed the paint or, you know, issues with the statue itself. What you ordered is what you got.
Yeah, very, very cool piece from Legendary Beast. So congrats to them for getting on the podium. And number 2, we've got the Sentinel, the X-Men versus Sentinel.
Really?
Yeah, X-Men versus
Very
Sentinel
interesting.
from Iron Studios. And again, it's kind of a, you know, there's 3 of them. And then they've got, as we saw, we talked about it during our Iron Studios shows last month. They've got every X-Men under the sun, it seems like, to place around these things. So if you have them all and you can put them all together, it's just an insane diorama from Iron Studios. So a lot of people love that series from them. And at number 1, I think you guys nailed this one, Batman Hush. Tons of Batman fans out there. I've had people tell me they think this is the best Batman around. And it's a little bit different for Prime 1 in that it's kind of intended to look more like a comic book panel. It's got some cross hatching and things on the suit, just in the way it's sculpted.
Well, it is based on a comic book panel, right? Like that is an actual drawing in the issue.
Yeah. So the Batman Hush and the Jim Lee style of Batman is just for a lot of people is Batman. Like, you know, that there's lots of interpretations over the many years of Batman, but Jim Lee, you know, that's the style that so many people love the most. So there you have it, the best extra large statue from Prime 1 Studio, back on top. I believe they've won this category 6 out of 8 years. So they're the dominant
wheelhouse, right? How far down was Red Sonja?
Red Sonja was 4th.
So she was close, but yeah, she was close.
Just
Stacy. Yeah, Stacy in the comments is thought it was going to be close. I thought Red Sonja was going to be there. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting. I think it's the best Red Sonja statue ever done. And I have the other Red Sonja statues which I love and which I think are done very well. But wow.
Yeah, it was a nice piece, but yeah, they're all nice pieces, and there you have it, the top 3 for extra large this year. And we're going to move on to favorite statue company. This one is kind of an open vote. You know, we have all we don't have nominees in this category. We just have
I'm going to vote the company, the one on the bottom right.
Yeah, that's a great one. I think they put out some great stuff. So check them out. So anyways, like I said, this one's kind of an open field. Whoever people wanted to vote for was eligible in this one. Actually, that's the same for every category. There's always an other in every category. Like we have our nominees, but if people don't agree with those, they can use the other and vote for whoever they want. I will say a lot of people that use the other field are voting for stuff that's not actually out yet, or it's in the wrong category or something like that. So, just be careful if you're going to use that you're not throwing away your vote. But anyways, favorite company of 2021. Any predictions from you 3? Who do you think?
I think Figurama has to be. I'm not saying it's going to be number 1, but it has to be somewhere on the podium there. I mean, they have such a huge fan base, and they always, they seem to really listen to their customers, and they seem to, they have a great online presence, and they really connect with their fan base. And I think J&D seems to really has this year has been, or last year has been their year, or was their year. I mean, there's not many people had heard of them before, and they're just putting statue after statue on pre-order, and people are just snatching up all those pre-orders, and people are loving it. So that would be number 2 on the podium. Number 3, it's hard. I don't know.
Gotta pick one.
Queen Studios is also making people really happy with their life size bus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charles, what do you think?
So we're picking 3 or we're picking 1?
Well, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm oy. Okay. I'm gonna pick, and I'm gonna tell you why I picked them.
Okay.
I think Queen Studios really made their presence felt this year. Look at this mess of a company base we have, right? For someone to be noticed in all that with producing something that's in the $3,000 range and selling out, I mean, they deserve some kudos for that. I would put Queen Studios number 1. I'm going to put XM Studios number 2. Why? What did they release this year? 50 different statues of,
between
multiple,
pre-orders and releases, yeah, and
right?
they're turning stuff out
So
quickly.
they've
become
a powerhouse of a company. And they throw caution to the wind. They're always trying new stuff, and they're always trying to be more ambitious this year than they were the year before by testing new grounds, even in the face of fans going, oh my God, it's too big, it's too pricey, and they'll do it anyway. Like the Bat Bike is a perfect example of that.
That bike, War Tank.
Right, the War Machine,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So I have Queen Studios number 1, XM number 2, and I'm going to put Figurama as number 3 as the fan favorite of every year. Although I think Sumi's going to be in there, but I have such a hard time following them. I never know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to make that vote, but I wouldn't be surprised seeing them in there. But my personal 3, based on what I've seen, Queens, XM, and Figurama.
All right. Well, let's get into it. See if you guys are accurate. At number 3, we got Prime One Studio.
Mm-hmm.
So they're putting out. They've got so much stuff out there. They have so many licenses. They're doing mostly larger scale stuff, but a little bit of 1/4 or mostly 1/3.
One of my eagerly awaited statues for 2022 is a Prime One. It's the Nightwing 3rd scale. Really looking forward to that one. I'm kind of teetering on the Wonder Woman and the Black Canary, but I want to see some in hand first. But Nightwing was a no-brainer. I was gladly ordered that one.
Yeah. So as we kind of we'll look at number 2 here quickly. We've got XM Studios, and for all the reasons you said, Charles. I mean, they're getting more licenses. They've got more statues all the time, and they turn them around quickly. You're not waiting 2 and 3 years for their statues these days. You're waiting 2 and 3 months.
They're ready to ship a month or 2 after ordering. They did that with Apocalypse, did they not?
Rhino came out real quick. There's a whole bunch that are coming around.
Didn't Psylocke come out pretty quick?
Psylocke came out quick. So that's kind of neat. That's something that other companies aren't doing. You're waiting a year or 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think basically they have the statues in production before they put them in pre-order. It's smart.
So I just thought it was interesting, these two. I mean, you think back to year 1 when nobody knew who these companies were, and just kind of popping up onto the scene, and they both did well that year as well. And now 8 years later, they're probably the two powerhouse.
So it has to be Queen Studios then. It has to be Queen Studios.
So at number 1, there can only be one winner in each category. Favorite statue company this year.
No way.
Figurama Collectors.
Figurama. Okay.
Again, this I think they've won 3 years in a row too. So I mean, they've got as you I think you talked about it, Gina, is like they really engage their fan base well.
Yeah.
They're always listening. They're always trying to come up with some kind of poll or topic to vote on every day in their Facebook group. So they're always engaging, and they listen to their fans too. When they show some preliminary production photos, people don't like this or don't like that, they'll usually go back and try to adjust it until it's perfect for people.
Are you finding that Sumi numbers are going down?
Sumi numbers are, well, yeah. I mean, like I said, when they kind of popped up, I think it was year 3, they were the only anime licensed company really out there. right? And now we've got Figurama, we got Prime One doing anime, we've got Oniri Creations, we've got Soul Wing, Jimmy Palace, we've and, on and on and on. Iron Kite Studio, Revive Studio, more and more Unique Art Studio. Like there's so much anime stuff out there now. People are kind of spreading out what they like on that side of things. But Figurama has grabbed a big chunk of that, and they take home favorite company. So congrats to them. Yet again.
Congrats, Figurama.
It's great.
All right, good for them. So 3 awards, 3 wins for Figurama this year. We're going to move on to the comic, movies, and originals best large statue. This is usually one of the most popular in any given year. So mostly Marvel, DC type characters. So big popular category. I think this is the one that the 3 of us collect the most from. And again, expanded field this year, or in this category, to 8 statues, because it is a bigger field and there's lots and lots to choose from. So let's get into our 8 nominees. We got from Iron Studios, the Daredevil Legacy replica. This is the 1/4 scale Daredevil by Tiago Rios. Kind of pairs up with their Punisher from a few years ago. And I think this is Iron Studios' best 1/4 scale piece since their Darth Vader a few years back that won Statue of the Year. So Daredevil from Iron Studios. We got from Sideshow, the Deja Thoris. Another one, Gina, I think I see it right over your shoulder there. So you have this statue. And I've seen this statue. I saw it at San Diego Comic-Con a couple years back, and it's awesome. It's really, really well done. I think done by William Harbottle. And he's always, whenever his name's attached to something, you want to stand up and take notice. And not my type of character that I would ever buy, but I this statue really caught my eye. Really well done. Really well done from Sideshow. So from XM, we got the Planet Hulk. Now this statue stands out this year because it's actually hand sculpted. It's which is rare these days. Not many hand sculpted statues. This is 100% hand sculpted, and it turned out really, really well. We got from Prime One Studio the big game cover art Predator. Really, really cool piece from them. A whole bunch of different switch out options for the hands and the portraits. It's got light up features and all that. Really, really cool piece from them. Another one from Prime One. This is the Dark Lord Sauron, of course, from Lord of the Rings. And it's 1/4 scale. The statue is 1/4 scale, but it is a huge statue because Sauron is 10 feet tall or something like that. He's kind of way bigger than your average human. So it's a massive piece. From Queen Studios, we have the Endgame Thanos. Really, really cool piece. I have this one.
Movie scale, right? Like where the 8 feet tall Thanos.
Exactly. It's movie scale. So it's big. It's a big statue. He's seated. So, it's manageable height-wise. The sword you see in the back is separate. So if that adds a lot of height, but if you don't have the height, you can take the sword out, and you don't have to display that. But really, really cool piece. This turned out exceptional. For me, as I said, I did a review on it. As I said, if I only have one movie statue in my collection from the MCU, and I picked this one because for me, this is like the whole series wrapped up into one statue for me. This is the climax of the Infinity Saga from the MCU. And another one from XM. This is Ultron. A little bit of a sleeper piece, I think, for a lot of people. But the more reviews and pictures that I saw of it throughout the year, it just really, really turned out nice.
Doesn't this look like the Randy Orton pose? You know what I mean?
It does. Yeah, exactly. You nailed it.
First place, my head went, this is the Randy Orton pose,
Yeah, it is. But this one done by Marco Plouffe.
That's right.
Who's when it comes to robots and really intricate details and things, he's, I think, one of the top 1 or 2 out there sculptors. And did the Batman Shogun last year. A lot of people know that statue. Incredible sculptor. So and Canadian as well. So there you go. So there you have one more. Sorry, from Uman Studio. This is I think that's how you say it, Uman. a company that just kind of came out of nowhere. And this, I think, is one of their first statues, the Witch King. And so this is based on some artwork. It's not based on the movie version of the character, so it's a little bit different than maybe what most people think of when they think of the Witch King. But this statue, like the minute I saw pictures of it, way back when they were kind of revealing it, I kept tabs on it all year, and it turned out amazing. And the final product is really, really good. It's a really cool piece from them. So, smaller company maybe, but a very, very cool statue from them, the Witch King. So there you have it. There's all 8.
Yeah.
Tough to decide, I think. But you guys give me your top 3. Gina, I'll start with you.
I mean, I think so many of them deserve to be on the podium.
Companies come to the show for this scale, I find.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put Sauron maybe as number 1. Everyone's been waiting for that. It's such an ambitious piece, just the sheer size of it. And then Thanos, which I love. I love that. That's probably my favorite Thanos statue. And as you were saying, Kris, like it picked the perfect scene, right? From the end of Infinity War. Yep. And I'm gonna have to put the Jaja Thoris maybe as number 3. That statue turned out unbelievable. Just not only the sculpt but the paint. They had to have gone. Sideshow had to have gone to a more higher end factory for that. Like just in terms of the paint and the materials used, nothing was left for chance. It was beautiful. So those are my 3.
To add to Gina's point about Sideshow paints, the last 2 Sideshow statues I got were the Black Canary premium format and the last Catwoman that they did, which they sent to me like a year and a half later. I was in like a later batch because I ordered it later. And the paints on those 2 are spectacular. Like they've really, at least with those 2. Anyway, okay, I have a bit of a protest with this section because my choice for a statue of this size of the year was the XM Studios Harley Quinn Samurai. How it's not in this bunch is beyond me. That was a beautiful, stunning piece. I loved it. There isn't anything about that piece by Martin Simney Augusta, who does incredible work for them. I just feel that needed to have an honorable mention for this category.
Well, there's another option in every category, Charles.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many people voted for that one, but that was like number 1. And
it wasn't that popular.
Well,
I know it's a nice statue. All 3 of us have seen it. I think both of you own it.
Yep.
And nothing wrong with that statue at all. It wasn't that popular.
Number 3, I'm going to put XM Planet Hulk.
Okay.
Number 2, I'm going to put Prime 1, the Predator, Big Game Predator.
Okay.
And number 1, I'm going to give Queen Studios Thanos. So it isn't very often that Gina and I have different voting like this. But we'll see.
What are people saying here in the comments here? We got some votes for Predator.
I'm saying
Witch King.
People like the Witch King, which I would put. I think that turned out beautiful, but I'm not sure if it's as well known for people to have voted for it. It looked beautiful from.
And no one said Harley Quinn because they don't know what they're talking about.
Okay, at number 3, Sauron from Prime 1 Studio. Really cool statue. Very nice interpretation of it. Of course, this a movie based Lord of the Rings Sauron. Very cool piece. At number 2, very happy to say this. At number 2, the Daredevil from Iron Studios. And this is one again where it got a really nice boost on the Instagram side of the vote. It was clearly the number 1 there. For whatever reason, and so it got a boost up into second place. So there you have it. That's from Thiago Rios. I love that statue. Of course, I have it. I have most Daredevil statues, and that one, I got it. It came out early 2021, and throughout the year, I just started to like it more and more and more, which is doesn't always happen. with statues. Sometimes they fade into the collection a little bit, and you don't think about them that much.
Yeah.
This one, not like that. It kind of did the opposite. Throughout the year, I found it to like it more and more and more. I really like that one. So number 2 is Daredevil. At number 1, best large statue. This is sort of the big fan vote award of the year.
Queen Studios.
Are you ready? Queen
Yeah.
Studios
Yeah,
Thanos.
that's the one.
Queen Studios Thanos. This Queen, as I was kind of, Gina and I were talking before the show, Queen Studios seems to do small batches of statues, and they'll put out a small amount of them, and then a few months later another small amount. So this one, first batch came out last year. I was one of those people who had it, and I reviewed it, and I loved it. I had nothing bad to say about this piece. It turned out fantastic. The likeness, just the quality of it, the feel, like, you pick it up out of the box, you just, okay, this is a nice statue. Just the way it feels in your hand. The sword is metal. The paints are excellent. And just the choice of the scene of Thanos. Like I said, this for me sums up, it's the climax. It's right before the big fight.
They nailed the likeness too.
Yeah.
Really
Just fantastic
likeness.
statue from Queen Studios. Yeah, I love it. So I think that's a deserving winner. There you go. Best large statue of the year. The kind of the marquee category to Queen Studios. That's the first time they've won that. So congratulations to them. There you have it. Thanos. Now we have one more award, and it's, as I said, kind of the special award for this competition. It's called the Industry Award. And it's called the Industry Award because it's voted on by people in the industry. I have nothing to do with who wins or picking. And just to give people a little bit of background on this award, what I do is I send out the invite to a bunch of people, and I ask them to pick 2 statues each. Okay, so each person is affiliated with some company in some way. So I allow them to pick, one of their own statues, whether they sculpted it or painted it or developed it or whatever. Because I do like to have their feedback on that. What do they think is their best statue? And then the second choice of theirs has to be something that they have nothing to do with. Right. So what do they think is the best of the rest? Okay.
We've had a number of these people on the show.
Yeah, we have, and a few I've been trying to get on the show and unlucky so far, but we'll keep trying. So we had I think 31 judges, and I give them all the option of, do they want their name revealed or not. A few people don't like having their name revealed, so there is a few more than what's listed here. But we'll just run through them real quick. We got Renan Pizzi and Marcelo Basoli from Iron Studios. We have Victor Hugo Sousa, who is a sculptor over the years. He's done things like the Dr. Octopus for XM Studios. Marco Plouffe, we mentioned, did Ultron this year. He did Batman Shogun last year. We got Ario Anandito, who's a Marvel Comics artist, and also does statue design. He designed the Lobo.
He's doing great work on Buffy the Vampire Slayer comic right now. Or Buffy the Last Slayer. That's what it's called.
Yeah, Buffy, that's doing the Buffy series. He also is doing the Star Wars Old Republic series, I think, for Marvel. Really, really popular series. So he's doing well for himself. We have David Igo, longtime art director for Sideshow, now with Tweeterhead. Alan Sales, I think is how you say it. Another sculptor. He did like Professor X this year. Arno Perez is with Pure Arts. Amilcar Fong as a sculptor. He's done the Alien for XM, did the Scarecrow for XM. He's doing a lot of work for Tweeterhead as well. We have Brian Tan, of course, one of the founders of XM, now with Mighty Jax. So I think a lot of people know him around the industry. Alvaro Ribeiro, and did the Lobo this year.
And the White Magneto.
Yep. Fantastic sculptor. Romel Chopra did the Predator, the big game cover Predator this year. Ken Superman Pot is with Studio Hive, so they do a lot of statue designs, and it's also with Hex Collectibles. Philip Herman, who I think is one of the more underrated, maybe underappreciated sculptors around. I think he's one of the best.
Yeah.
He's done a huge number of pieces for XM, like Magic, like Emma Frost, and now he's with Prime One Studio. Mr. Shadab from Figurama Collectors, Martha and Augusta, art director and sculptor for XM Studios.
And the guy who did Harley Quinn.
The guy who did Harley Quinn.
He needed to mention that.
He also did, I think, the Darth Revan, one of the new Star Wars pieces that just came out for XM. A lot of people loving that one. Maria Panfilova, who maybe some people might be a new name for them, but she's done a lot of really nice work. Just kind of stepping in now to the comic book world of sculpting. She did the Beast for XM Studios. She did. Have you guys seen the new museum series from Queen Studios where they're like marble? They look like they're marble statues. She did the Wonder Woman from that series. So Daniel Simon, another great sculptor, has done a lot of work for XM. Brian, I think it's pronounced Kaharik. I think someone told me that.
Yes, you're right. It's the C is silent, but we were all calling them Kacharik for years.
Yeah.
Until there was
from the K Bros.
Yeah.
I believe they did the Assage of Ventress.
They did, yeah.
Yep. Joe Mena, a longtime sculptor in the industry, has done a ton of stuff and also designs coins for the U.S. Mint. So really, really cool guy. Adib from Connecticut. We got David Giraud, another sculptor, has been on the show a couple times. He did the Super Sons for XM Studio recently. Caleb Nefson had the Attack on Titan this year. Does amazing work. Mufazal and Sofara are from HMO. Mufazal, of course, did the Hulk, the little pewter Hulk, in this year's competition.
He also did one of my favorite XM statues, the Black Widow from way.
Yeah, did some early XM statues. Tiago Rios, who's maybe my favorite right now. Did the Daredevil, he did the Punisher for Iron Studios. He's done a lot of work for XM as well. He did the new Ghost Rider on horseback. That's one of his pieces.
Very nice.
So really, really talented guy. John Arthur from Queen Studios. And as I mentioned, we have a handful more than that. So 31 judges in total this year. And they could pick from anything. I send them a list, kind of an expanded list from what our final nominees are. And then I also give them, if they want to look at it, the complete list of all the statues that came out this year, just to give them, make sure that they have everything there in front of them. And this one's always a little funny. There's a lot of stuff that gets a lot of votes. So we had 31 judges. They all picked 2, as I said, and there were 38 unique choices. Right? So a lot of sort of votes were kind of clumped together. A lot of statues got, 2, 3 votes in this one. But there was one sort of clear-cut favorite at the end of the day. So let's get into the industry award winners. Any predictions at all? Give me your number one. Who do you think the artists voted for this year?
Oh my God. I'm blanking out.
I mean, I think maybe the those in the industry might have chosen Assage Ventress somewhere in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna think the Thanos is gonna be in there.
Okay.
The Queen Studios Thanos. Oof.
Let's see what anybody predicting here. Not many predictions here.
And I think you told me one choice, so I'm not going to say it. I think, Kris, you told me in messages. I think you told me one time.
Well, yeah, there was one that was getting a few votes, but
I won't mention it. Yeah.
So
let's just any last predictions.
Maybe Sauron might be there.
Okay.
You see, you threw me with the 38, unique choices. I mean, like 38 unique choices that none of the others chose. That threw me. So, but there was one clear-cut winner. I would think the Thanos, would be running away with it, and maybe the Bruce Lee.
Okay,
those would be the 2 I'll choose. Bruce Lee.
Okay, we'll go. We'll get into this. And number 3, Assage Ventress. Gina, you were right. So that one got 4 4 votes. As I said, it was pretty spread around out of the 31. So she got 4. There was a whole bunch at 3 right below her. Many of the ones that you guys have mentioned already. At number 2, the X-Men versus
Really?
Sentinel. Yeah, this is, I think people think of this as a set of 3 is what's happening. And when you
Okay.
look at the set of 3 of them, you got these 3 huge Sentinels, and you got about 30 X-Men fighting around this thing. It's just incredible. So I think that caught a lot of people's attention. It's a really ambitious project from Iron Studios, and deserves some recognition there. So second place in the industry award. First place was not mentioned by either of you. None of you guys picked
Wow.
this one.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And
What is
it
it?
came a little bit as a surprise to me, but not so much, I guess, when you see it. We'll just reveal it right here. Thranduil on Throne
Oh,
from Weta Workshop takes home the prize from the artists and industry professionals as the number 1 statue for 2021.
I look at this as it's a creator's choice. You know, it's like, you know, when you ask comic artists who they love and they mention Will Eisner, you know, and Will Eisner is an amazing artist, and he's an innovator, and he redesigned how to tell a story visually, but it's not, you know, on the tip of the tongue of your casual artist, casual comics fan.
Right.
So
Yeah, and I had one of the people voted for it. Not everyone gives me like an explanation, but a few people did, and one of the people that voted for this was he was just blown away by, like, look at the folds in his robe. That was like that type of thing. How they said that's like absolute expert level. You know, it's not mixed media. That's sculpted like that. And the details on the tree trunk, just the size of it, the ambitiousness of the project, blew them away. So, deserving winner.
Yep. It deserves. Yeah.
Really, really cool piece there. So there you have it. We ran through it. All the winners this year, 10 awards.
Yeah, I have to say that, you know, the second choice, the Sentinel one, like I missed the boat on that one. Like
I would never have chosen that. It's interesting.
So
well, as I said,
I
think it's sort of thought of as a bigger. We had to pick one of the 3 because they're sold separately. But it's I think in a lot of people's minds, it's 3 of them, and it's just this massive, great big diorama. It's really, really cool. So
I got to say though, I'm glad that Asajj is there.
Yeah. And some of the other ones that were really close down there with 3 votes, the Batman Batcave, the Bruce Lee was there, Catwoman from Tweeterhead was there. So there's a whole bunch of stuff there that got votes. As I said, 38 different statues got votes in this category. So it's always interesting to see what the artists are thinking for the year. So there we have it. Another statue awards in the books. Hopefully everyone that tuned in, we had lots of comments. So thanks for everyone for joining in and giving us their predictions throughout the show.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is my favorite episode every year. So I always like seeing where the chips fall, each year. There's always something that's kind of surprises me. I always have my own predictions every year. But anything before we wrap up, anything that really stood out to you guys as either a surprise or like exceptionally deserving, or any comments you have before we sign off here? Start with Charles.
Something that come around to me. Like, give me a second to think about this.
Okay.
In terms of
Gina, anything surprise you this year that you didn't expect?
Well, I guess first I'll say thanks for doing this, Kris. I know it's just so much work you put into this, and just the quality of the presentation. So many statues compared to when this first started, and then. But I think everything is so well organized that we're all able to follow, and that's not an easy feat.
Thank you.
I would also say that I think all of the winners and those on the podium all deserve to be there, and that's just sort of a statement on where the industry has come now. Where I think all the statue companies realize that the standards now the standards have been raised. So all of the winners are so so deserving. Especially the last, the last industry award where the Weta pick up that one. I mean, that statue, you could tell it is special. So I'm glad that Weta statue was there and got chosen. Surprises. I was surprised that the Iron Studios Sentinel made it in the industry award. Because I tend to see that one as more as a comic book for it would sort of connect with comic book enthusiasts and X-Men enthusiasts more than just from the artists. I would for the artists and the industry, those in the industry to pick that out. I was quite surprised, but it deserves to be there.
Okay, good. Charles? Anything?
Yeah, I'm going to echo the Sentinel statue comment. I really didn't see it coming. And even though it won in 2 different categories, in the top 3 in 2 different categories, I'm still not seeing what people are loving about it.
It's the X-Men. It's the whole X-Men. Where else are you going to get all the X-Men?
But, art is art. Opinion is opinion. I think the big takeaway surprise for me was Red Sonja not being in the top 3. I felt that was such a wow piece. It caught me by surprise. But, everyone that was nominated and everyone that was in the top 3, I didn't feel that, what is this doing here? The only one maybe I felt that for was the Sentinel. But largely, everyone brought their A game this year, and they know that they need to. Like you were saying before, Sideshow, did they go to a new factory? What's going on? They're seeing all these companies coming out of the woodwork, and it isn't a 3 or 4 company show. Now it's a 20 company show. And if they want to continue getting the large numbers that they're getting, they have to find a way to do it. And the last few releases, they've been really, really good, and their price point is fabulous. So, yeah, those are my surprises. One last thing, this year, usually life-size busts are like, I can take it or leave it. I once got a life-size bust of Batman. It was okay, but I sold it quickly thereafter. I didn't want to go down this line. But this year, the life-size busts that we're seeing are remarkable, so
amazing.
lifelike.
They're amazing.
That's something that it'll be very interesting to see what they're going to be doing in the future. Getting other likenesses. Maybe they'll work on the hair issue. Maybe giving you tips on how to blow dry hair. But those are my takeaway. I think the life-size bust really impressed me, and I was surprised that the Red Sonja didn't win that category. Not even not being the top 3 didn't win it.
Yeah, I mean that statue, I thought would get more votes as well, but when you have Batman there, I mean,
I know, but there are lots of Batman 3rd scale statues out there, and there are going to be more. So it doesn't have to be the top 3 every time.
But I think we
tell that to the Batman fans.
I think we pretty much called that though. We knew that Batman was going to be. You can just going by fan reaction, and that was just so well received. So I mean, they did a good job.
Yeah, I was for myself, the small scale statue category, as I mentioned, became a lot tougher this year. I was surprised that Iron Studios didn't get one of the top 3. But it's a tougher category this year. We heard Iron Studios' name, throughout the show, but usually the small is their bread and butter. So that was a bit of a surprise for me. In the best large, I didn't expect Daredevil to finish in the top 3, but he got a big Instagram push for people voting on Instagram for whatever reason. Like I said, so he jumped into the top 3 there. So I'm happy to say it because I love that piece. But other than that, the anime medium between Sume and Figurama was really tight. So maybe some companies closing the gap on Figurama a little bit, not so much in the large side of things, but in the medium, which is for anime, that's kind of the bigger world. There's a lot of smaller scale anime stuff, so it's a bit more competitive there.
I think Austin just brought up an interesting point, just to about having best large movie statue and best small movie statue category. The reason being is that we're seeing so much more of it.
Well, every year we kind of adapt and see where things are. It might be, one thing that people have always wanted is, well, the best diorama. It's like, well, okay, but what is a diorama? Like, there's so many. What every statue is a diorama in theory. So what do we qualify? And when you think, okay, multiple characters doing a fight or whatever, there's really not that many. I've tried to create that category, and there's just not enough there. There has to be enough there to warrant the category. And that's why early on anime was kind of included with everything else, and now we've got a more competitive field. It's got its own categories. But yes, movie stats, separating those into their own thing, like we did with the gaming statues. Maybe it's an option later on. But I'll just wrap up.
Maybe just add some hot toys the next
Yeah.
time. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing Kris. It gets the same reaction from him every single time.
Yeah, I always joke. Yeah, we'll have the best accessories, costume accessories for hot toys, and most brushable hair and things like that. So maybe in the future. But I'll just finish off with saying, yeah, Charles, the best bust category and the lifelike materials and things that are being used, and the way it's sort of now pushing down into the extra large category, and maybe we'll see it in the large category as well. Just the pushing the boundaries. We see it every year, and the way things have improved every year.
Great to spend the money, right? Because a lot of people are thinking, oh, no one's going to want to buy a statue more than $500, and now you're seeing people willing to spend over $3,000 on a statue. So they're going, okay, what can we do? What can we produce at that price point? And now you're seeing it, right? So people were not buying those life-size busts that were $600 because they looked like what you thought they looked like. But put a $3,000 price point on it, and it could look amazing.
Yep. Incredible how much things have changed in 8 years of this event. Incredible. So once again, congratulations to all the winners this year. Thanks very much to everyone who tuned in and participated in the comments and things. We always enjoy hearing what you guys have to say. Thanks, Gina and Charles, for hopping on again.
And thank you. Like, to echo what Gina said, you put such a great program together at the end of every year. We're like the contestants, who are just eagerly choosing whatever. But we know that you put in so much work to gather all the data, what people are voting and what people are voting on, and tabulating the results. And you really deserve a round of applause for the work you put into this for the Statue Awards every year.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, and I got to thank, as I said, my buddy Marco does the logos every year. Thanks to all the people who take the time to put out photos and videos of their statues, because I use those a lot. Everyone who puts them out, there's a lot of statues every year. There's a lot of statues that you can kind of immediately dismiss, but they're still left with a large pool of stuff there that could be a contender. And I use the comments and the videos and photos of people all around Facebook and YouTube and everything like that, and Instagram. So thanks to all you guys out there who do that, take the time to do that. So there you have it. 2021 now officially in the books. Hopefully onward to better things in 2022, although it didn't kick off all that well, but we'll see how things go later in the year. Thanks again to everyone for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys later.
See you again soon.